The president has no doubt that the strong ties between the United States and Israel will endure far beyond this election, and that has been true for generations now. That the U.S.-Israel relationship is not one that's been subject historically to partisanship.
Presidential Press Secretary Josh Earnest on the Israeli election. Of course, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's Likud party took home a win after his chief rival conceded in what a lot of pre-election polling said would be a very close race. Joining me now from Jerusalem, Newsmax contributor Elliot Jager. Elliot, you're there. What is the mood on the ground this day after the election?
Well, the losers are licking their wounds, and the winners are chomping at the bit to form a government. I should tell you, JD, that it's going to take weeks, many weeks, until a government is formed, and for now, the winner, Benjamin Netanyahu, is going to be heading a caretaker government.
And mindful of the fact that some interesting combinations can form a coalition government, which is part and parcel of a parliamentary democracy, what is the speculation today of what the new coalition might look like?
Well, you raise an important point, JD, because in the history of Israel, no one party has ever won a majority. And although Netanyahu won, as you said, what he really won is 30 seats out of 120. So he's going to have to put together enough seats in order to have a majority of at least 60, 61, preferably more than that. Right now, it looks like he'll go to his natural. He can form a. He's got the ability to form a government with a center party. He could, in fact, form a government with the Labor Party, and that would together be a majority. But both sides are under pressure. That is, Netanyahu is under pressure, as well as the Labor Party leaders under pressure not to do that. He could turn to a couple of the religious parties and form a government with them. He's got lots and lots of options. Herzog, the Labor Party leader, has fewer options.
Well, let's go back to something that was said in the 11th hour by the Prime Minister and reported as perhaps a reversal. The Prime Minister going on record saying he did not support a two-state solution in terms of the Palestinian question. Your take on the reporting and really what was at stake, what went on with that?
Right. Well, it's true that the Prime Minister, I guess you would say, punted to the right a bit because he wanted to solidify right-wing support, that is hawkish support for his party. But Netanyahu never repudiated his speech, which was given at Bar-Ilan University, in which he accepted the possibility and the desire of a two-state solution. What he said was, if you read very carefully, what he said was, it doesn't look like that's going to be possible anyway, given what's going on in the Middle East and given what's going on among the fragmented Palestinian polity. So people wanted to hear him say that he was against a Palestinian state. What he said was, hey, it's not in the works. And by the way, had Labor won, it wouldn't have been any more in the works because they would be in the same situation. Any government of Israel would be in the same situation, facing the Palestinian side and facing what's going on around us in the Arab Middle East. So he did not say that he was opposed to a two-state solution. He said it simply wasn't practical under current circumstances. It wasn't going to happen. No one here is going to disagree with him within the mainstream of Israeli society.
Elliot, with about 4 minutes left, the Prime Minister said something else prior to the election that, probably attracted him some votes and may have stirred up a controversy. Let's take a listen.
שלטון הימין בסכנה. המצביעים הערבים מגיעים בכמויות אדירות לקלפי. עמותות השמאל מביאות אותם באוטובוסים. רבותיי, לנו אין V15. לנו יש צו 8, לנו יש רק אתכם. צאו לקלפי, תביאו את החברים, את בני המשפחה, הצביעו מחל, נסגור את הפער בינינו לבין מפלגת העבודה, ובעזרתכם, בעזרת השם, נקים ממשלה לאומית שתשמור על מדינת ישראל.
Can't speak fluently there, but thankfully for subtitles, we're able to see the Prime Minister was making an appeal really to nationalists, saying Arabs were being bussed in to vote. Was that aimed at some of the Obama organizers that had come to Israel to support the opposition?
It was, but the truth of the matter is that, elections here not like in the United States where everything is pure and above board. But elections here can be kind of mean-spirited and sometimes a little dirty. And Netanyahu was, well, frankly, he was playing a bit the demagogue there, warning people that, you know, the Arab parties had united for the first time in the history of Israel. All the Arab parties were united and running as a single bloc. And that's why Netanyahu was telling people, look, they've got themselves together. If you understood the undercurrent of the message, he was saying, look, they've got themselves together, and it's about time we guys got ourselves together too. So, and in point of fact, the Arab parties together, they did so well. They got 13 Knesset seats this time around, which is a considerable. I mean, that's very, very good, and that's because they were able to pull together. And Netanyahu was saying, hey, they're busing their people to the polls. You know, you guys got to get out the vote as well. And I think that was he may have said it in a way that I can't appreciate, but that's what he was saying.
So about a minute and a half remains, and I'm just curious because some people don't realize the fact that there is a significant Arab population, Arab Israeli citizens. Does that vote total and the coalition there among the Arab parties that were little more than splinter groups, what does that portend for the future of politics in Israel?
Well, the truth is it doesn't change very much. And I got to say that the entire election doesn't change very much because I'll answer you very quickly about the Arab parties. The Arab parties were a whole bunch of fragmented parties, and they pulled together so that they could win this one or so extra seats. But at the end of the day, they still go into the Knesset fragmented among each other, and they will probably push the same agenda they've been pushing all along. And a lot of what they push, by the way, is a social agenda. It's not a political agenda. And they may be able to make some deals with other parties in the Knesset, as they always do. This is an undercurrent of something always going on. But I think it's important to understand that at the end of this election, the Israeli hawkish camp basically picked up just one seat. The center camp lost 2 seats, and the sort of dovish camp picked up 1 seat. So you don't see, if you study it in terms of blocks and camps and ideology, this election was a lot of money, a lot of aggravation, but not a whole lot of change when it comes to where things pan out.
And Elliot Jager, we will have to leave it right there. We thank you for your time and your expertise in what is a very interesting process, looking at it from here in the United States. Now we'll keep an eye on the coalition that forms as Bibi Netanyahu remains prime minister. Elliot Jager, once again, our thanks to you checking in from Jerusalem. And we will continue right after this update.